Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday again, Monday, February the 3rd, and we're here to look at new releases that are being published this week. And on Mondays, we look at cozy mysteries. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I'll have them tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and they'll go for 2.5 hours. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Somebody might want to check me. I think sprints tonight are on Sarah's, but if somebody can double check that, that'd be great. We are here from very, very cold Montana. It is currently -2. It's probably colder than that, but that's the official temperature. It feels like -19, so it's not going to get too much warmer today. And it's been snowing for 24 hours and won't stop until tomorrow. Winter is here. Good morning, Kim. How you doing? Did you have a good weekend? All right. Cozy Mysteries. Yes, I do. Good morning, Mary. How was your show? Happy Monday. Okay, think it was your extra positive. I think you have good product. Needed this to keep going. Oh, good. Another one will be on its way. Mary, hi, Kim. Sarah's if she can. Tiffany's is not. Okay. Thank you for that update. The Crime Brulee Bake Off by Rebecca Connolly. When Claire Walker is selected to be a contestant on the immensely popular cooking show Britain's Battle of the Bakers, she is thrilled. She can't wait to spend 8 enchanting weeks baking at the picturesque estate of Blackfirth Park. She can almost smell the fresh bakery's pastries wafting through the air as she and her fellow contestants use historical equipment to bring pre-1900s recipes to life. If she can win the £50,000, she'll be able to ditch her teaching job and launch her baking career. The Viscount of Colburn, Jonathan Ainsley, is the custodian of Blackfirth Park and an eligible bachelor. With his family's income dwindling, he reluctantly agrees to host the entire production team, but he refuses to participate since he's had enough of single women who see him as nothing more than a potential conquest. But when a contestant is found dead, soon after filming begins, Jonathan is forced to get involved. To make matters worse, the baker's death is eerily similar to the legendary death of the 10th Viscountess of Colburn 250 years earlier, which sends rumors racing through the estate. Even as suspicion falls on some of the bakers, a decidedly different kind of heat begins to simmer between Claire and Jonathan. If they are to have any hope of a future romance, they must first solve the mystery before the show gets canceled or someone else falls prey to the Blackfirth Park ghost. We're starting to see a lot of those, romance kind of took over fantasy now that it seems like they're taking over cozies. Not necessarily a bad thing, but that does appear to be a trend. Kim says, yes, had a decent weekend. Oh, good. Sarah has a long day at hospital because of right. Oh, okay. Gotcha. And Mary, I'm sure you are caught up on what's going on with Randy. Vows of Murder by Lynn Cahoon, 17th in the Tourist Trap Mysteries. Jill's wedding to Police Chief Greg King is just days away in a historic Spanish mission with a courtyard full of olive trees. But the folks in South Cove are more intrigued by what kind of ceremonies might be going on behind the walls of New Hope, the walled property where charismatic Cain Matthews and his followers reside. Jill isn't fond of the man, but his followers seem nice, and they buy a lot of books. After a distraught woman stops by at Coffee Books and More, with a picture of her daughter, who believes needs rescuing from the suspected cult, and then Matthew's body is found at Jill's wedding venue of all places, Jill makes a commitment to solve the case. With Greg's mother as a house guest, she must play hostess to her future in-law while pursuing a murderous outlaw. Yes, doesn't sound like she gets through it okay. Don't have details, just going into the hospital tomorrow. It might be staying a couple days, I heard. Um, and I don't need to make the baby blanket now. Kim, I need to catch up on that series. There's a lot I need to. Add it to the TBR pile. The Wagtail Murder Club by Krista Davis, 10th in the Paws and Claws mysteries. Holly Miller is on her way home to Wagtail, Virginia when she spots something in the grass not far from her car. It turns out to be an adorable black Labrador in a cage with a note attached to his collar. My name is Squishy. I'm a very good boy. Please take good care of me. Holly takes Squishy home to the Sugar Maple Inn, which she owns with her grandmother, who also happens to be the mayor of Wagtail. They decide to foster Squishy at the inn. Days later, Holly is surprised to see her ex-boyfriend Ben checking in with a group of his attorney colleagues who all seem to think that he and Holly are still an item. Aided by Squishy, Holly's rascally dog and cat find one of Ben's fellow attorneys who has died from a non-accidental fall. Is the fiend a resident of Wagtail or a visitor? Holly bands together with her mom, grandmother, and beloved elderly inn butler, Mr. Huckle, to uncover the killer and the truth about Squishy, because nothing brings a town together like murder. Medal for Murder by Leslie Langtry, 34th in the Mary Rath mysteries. It's not news that the Iowa towns of Blattersley, home of the Raging Bladders, and Who's There, the Fighting Hoorish, are rivals and have been for more than a century. And as everybody knows, the best way to deal with a rivalry is to exploit it. So Who's There's youngest mayor creates the Hoobla Olympics to settle things once and for all. Everyone's going to compete, including ex-CIA agent turned Girl Scout leader Mary Rath Ferguson and her troop. The events are a bit strange, with extreme hide-and-seek and dodge archery, but all's fair in the spirit of competition, right? Sure, there's a little cheating and sabotage going on, but it's nothing until a body turns up with Mary's arrow in its chest. And what could go wrong when you have two police departments taking the spirit of competition too far in seeing who will solve the crime first? Will Mary and her teammate Jilly medal in dodge archery? Will the event heal the rift between these two towns? Can Mary solve the crime before Chief Magnum of the Blattersley PD locks her up? Get your nachos and take your seat in the stands to see who comes out on top and who is going down. And number one. Now this is one series that I really like and recommend. Kim thinks she's on number 15, so not too far. I love the name Squishy. This is 7th in the Sparks and Bainbridge mysteries. This is set right after World War II. This is by Alison Montclair. If you like witty banter from like the 30s and 40s movies, this series has it. An Excellent Thing in a Woman. London, 1947. Spirited Miss Iris Sparks and ever-practical Mrs. Gwendolyn Bainbridge are called to action when Gwen's beau, Salvatore Sally Danieli, is accused of murder. Sally has taken a job at the BBC studios at Alexandra Palace, but when the beautiful Miss Jean-Marie Duplessis, one of the Parisian performers over for a new variety show, is found dead in the old theater, a number of inconvenient coincidences make him suspect number one. Just days earlier, Miss Duplessis had arrived at the right sort, desperately looking for a husband, any husband, to avoid having to return to Paris. As the plot thickens, Iris is pulled back into the clandestine circles she moved in during the war, and it soon becomes apparent that to clear Sally's name, she and Gwen would need to go on the hunt for a killer once more. Death Upon a Star by Amy Patricia Mead. First in a new series, the Evelyn Galloway Mystery Series. 1939 Los Angeles. Evelyn Galloway can't believe her luck. On her first day in LA, she lands her dream job of script supervisor and on the hottest film in town, Hitchcock's adaptation of Rebecca. But her good fortune quickly changes when a legendary actor cancels their lunch the following day and is found murdered at home. Evelyn realizes she could be a witness to the crime, having passed the bungalow's grounds on her way home the night before. Who was the man looking upset in a gazebo, and why was movie starlet Madeline Neighbors running wildly away from the scene? When the tabloid reports contradict what Evelyn saw with her own eyes, she soon finds herself pitted against powerful studio bosses and unscrupulous journalists as she races to uncover the truth. Murder in the Tuscan Hills by T.A. Williams, 10th in the Armstrong and Oscar Cozy Mysteries. Good afternoon, Helen. How's it going over there? Mary says hi. A picturesque scene. As grape harvest season rolls around, retired DCI Dan Armstrong and his beloved canine companion Oscar are looking forward to a nice quiet September. But when Dan is contacted about a mysterious death out in the Tuscan Hills, it seems that work must come before pleasure. At first it appears that the body found lying outside a prestigious winery has been the result of a tragic hit and run. But then the police discover that this is a cover-up for murder. But who would kill in such an idyllic spot and why? As Dan investigates, he meets famous ex-rock star Digger, owner of the winery and prestigious Poder de Sante Hotel. It's probably pronounced way better than that. Digger's guests include wealthy businessmen, tourists, and among them suspected mafia hitmen. But more significant for Dan is a face he knows only too well from his own past, and he soon finds that wine isn't the only thing fermenting around him. Could this murder be the start of a gangland war, or do the killer's motives lie much closer to home? Will complications from Dan's past return to trouble his future? Either way, Dan and Oscar must work around the clock to solve another mystery. Murder, Mess, and the Tangerine Dress by Lynn Rankin Esker. Book 1 in a series called An Order Out of Chaos. Okay. Morning, Storm. How's it going? Mary says hi. A cluttered closet is nothing compared to the mess of murder. Izzy Bishop's life is messy. Her house is chaotic. She's headed for divorce and she's almost out of money. So when Type A sister boss Lauren's organizing company hires her, Izzy vows to purge the past, master organizing, and create a sparkling future, if only she can keep her pesky extrasensory abilities under control. Not a chance. When Izzy picks up her client Joanna's tangerine dress, she receives a message from Joanna's dead husband that someone is trying to kill his wife. Despite Lauren's warning to keep her psychic silliness filed away, Izzy has no choice but to investigate. Izzy soon discovers that everyone around Joanna has secrets and someone is willing to go to any length to keep their dirty laundry hidden. Faking it as an organizer could get her fired, but faking it as an investigator could get her killed. If Izzy can't figure it out quickly, she's likely to be both. Although fired doesn't really matter if you're dead. End of row 2. A Case of Intrigue in Islington. I hope that's how it's pronounced. Helen, perhaps you can correct me. By Clara Benson, 8th in the Freddie Pilkington Soames Adventures. During a disturbance at an agricultural show in London, a young man of foreign appearance is stabbed, his killer melting away into the crowd. First on the scene is reporter Freddie Pilkington Soames, who's covering the show for his newspaper and is just in time to hear the victim's last words. Warning of danger to a person by the name of Longstaff and begging Freddie to help. Following a second suspicious death, and with only the young man's message and a crumpled newspaper clipping to guide him, Freddy finds himself embroiled in a mystery that becomes increasingly puzzling the more he looks into it. Who was the foreigner, and who wanted him dead? How did he know Longstaff was in danger? And what is the significance of the word Rosa, which was on his lips as he died? Having exasperated his editor one too many times, Freddy's hanging onto his job by the skin of his teeth. But this is a mystery he can't let go. With ruthless and dangerous criminals on his trail who have no hesitation in using violence to achieve their ends, Freddy is in a race against time to prevent a crime that could have a devastating impact and cause misery for thousands of people. But how can he succeed when he doesn't even know what the crime is? And I forgot to click on it. I apologize. We'll give it its moment. Kim says hi. Stormy says just starting to function. I think I'm doing okay. Oh, good. Mary says, well, it is Monday. You're allowed a slow start on a Monday for sure. Quilts of a Feather by Arlene Sacitano. Part of Harriet Truman Loose Ends mystery. Not sure, there's no more information than that. It's springtime in Foggy Point, and the Parks and Recreation Department is hosting a festival in conjunction with a local bird watching organization. Harriet Truman and her quilting group, the Loose Threads, have been recruited to create items to raise money for the bird watchers and teach classes to the youngsters attending the event. What could possibly go wrong? Before the event begins, however, Harriet and Lauren find volunteer Maylene Harris dead on one of the forest hiking trails, a victim of a fentanyl overdose, and that's only the beginning. Who is bringing drugs into Foggy Point? Harriet and the Loose Threads are determined to find out, but will this be the investigation they won't survive? Something Borrowed, Something Brew, Book 6 in the Wedding Witch series by Bella Colby. Well, love is in the air as Skylar Blackwood prepares for her best friend's wedding until the bridegroom is arrested for a murder only he could have committed. Thrown into a whirlwind of trouble, Skylar's life takes a swift detour on a broomstick. Determined to prove the groom's innocence, Sky must summon every sleuthing trick in her spellbook. But as the evidence builds and dark secrets bubble, she'll need more than magic to crack this case and give her friends their happy ever after. Will the groom spend his wedding day in the slammer while the real killer gets away with murder? Well, maybe. Could throw her there in with him. He wouldn't be alone. Bossy Nose and Circulation Woes, 25th in the Avery Shaw Mysteries by Amanda M. Lee. Title doesn't work for me. Avery Shaw thinks things are bumping right along, her ongoing war with the ducks invading her pool notwithstanding, but she's quickly disavowed of that notion when her arch nemesis Tad Luddington's task force invades her backyard and arrests her cousin Mario on suspicion of serial murder. Mario has been in trouble before, not of his making, but this time the deck seems to be stacked against him, right up until Avery realizes that Tad is bringing charges with zero proof. He can't even prove that women are dead. When Avery digs in, determined to make him look like an idiot, she discovers an unfortunate problem. There is a serial killer on the loose, and no bodies have yet been discovered, so Tad is onto something, and there's nothing Avery wants more than to take his prize from him. That means partnering with Sheriff Jake Farrell, who demands to be in control just as often as Avery. Together, they're going to butt heads and figure out that there really is a monster on the loose in Macomb County. How do you know there's a serial killer if there are no bodies? There would be missing people. Are there parts showing up? Avery is working hard, but there are others working against her. Between Tad, a local attorney out for blood, her own co-workers, and the history of the women themselves, she's got her hands full. Giving up isn't an option in Avery's world. There's one thing Avery Shaw doesn't do: lose. How is she going to win this time? to click on it again. I'm sorry, guys. It's Monday. Give it its moment. And back. End of row 3. Kim says, I'm glad I no longer have to function most mornings. Oh, that would be nice. Details, details, details. Tilly, Before Dun Roman, the Dun Roman Romantic Mysteries, book number 1 by Beth Prentice. Hi, I'm Tilly, the proud owner of All Things Nice, a charming little cupcake shop on Price Lane in Westport. This Valentine's Day, I'm determined to sprinkle some love and sugar into the hearts of my neighbors. After all, what's life without either of those things? But when the housewives of Westport storm in with a deformed toenail embedded in one of my beloved cakes, my sweet dream turns into a sugary nightmare. I know this isn't a new flavor on my menu, so how did it get there? Is someone trying to sabotage my shop? As panic sets in, I'm saved by the handsome senior constable who offers to help me unravel this bizarre mystery. But as we dig deeper, we discover that Westport holds secrets darker than any frosting could cover. Will love conquer all, or will our investigation lead to a recipe for disaster? That just turned me off. Ugh. No. Should we end there? Looks like we're about out of time. Fortune's Folly, Claire Collins Mystery Book number 15 by J.A. Whiting, 15. It's early spring in Boston, and Claire, Nicole, and Robbie are taping new shows for their TV series, working on cookbooks, and planning spring events at the chocolate shop. When someone new buys a historic mansion in Claire's neighborhood of Adamsburg Square, people are curious to who will be moving in. After weeks of renovations and landscaping, the new owner invites neighbors and area business people to a housewarming party. The new owner is Lily Holloway, a woman in her mid-40s who has inherited a fortune. Lily is also a psychic and offers to do readings at the party. When she corrals Claire into having a reading, it doesn't go well, and Lily runs off. The next morning, they find out something terrible has happened, and the 3 friends are pulled into a new mystery. With the help of Claire's detective boyfriend, 2 corgis, her friends, and her paranormal skills, will Claire be able to sort out the clues to the mystery before a killer strikes again? And that is all we have time for today. Everybody remember where we parked. I wonder how long the author sat up trying to come up with that one. A deformed toenail. I know. Ugh. Corgis! Y'all have a great day. Need to get ready for online Bible study this morning. Oh, that'll be nice. I need to go to work. As I mentioned in the beginning, it is -2 here. Feels like -19, and that's just the official temperatures. It's probably colder. And it's been snowing nonstop since yesterday, so winter is here. So driving will be a little bit slower, so I gotta get going. Again, I think we confirmed that sprints tonight are on Sarah's channel, unless anything changes, and they'll let us know. I'll have sprints tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we'll be looking at mysteries and thrillers, so the darker side. Stay warm. Thanks so much. Hope everyone has a great day. You too, Mary. Stay warm. It's probably warmer than here, but still, you've got the stuff going on, so you also stay warm. All right, guys, have a very good Monday. See you soon. And as the banner's about to say, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.